And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning, and welcome to the Market Forecast, my fine, furry, feathered family, futures, and friends. That didn't go so well. It's Friday, October the 28th. Happy Friday, everybody. My name's John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time as usual. Our focus is on finding accurate context, good risk management, and always remaining patient in our trading. If you're already in the markets, hopefully things are going your way. We got some mixed information here from the equities markets. As was yesterday, the Dow closed higher. It's higher now, at least futures are. But the Nasdaq and the Euro and the E-mini S&Ps starting the day lower. As far as economic information this morning, we saw the PCE core come out as expected. We had personal income and outlays, both of them a little bit higher than expected. We are waiting for the Michigan consumer sentiment and probably the biggest number of the day, 9 o'clock Central, pending home sales. Earnings, a couple of big ones this morning. Of course, nothing this afternoon being Friday. ExxonMobil, Chevron, both beating expectations on both categories. And AbbVie, kind of mixed information from AbbVie. So at least we've got the bulk of our earnings information out already for the rest of the week. We don't have to worry about that. We'll worry about next week. Next week, just got a couple of more economic releases coming out today. So yesterday we saw stocks pull back from recent highs on some of these tech earnings and some of the gloomy forecasts of those for the fourth quarter of the year. Fed hikes may finally be slowing the economy, and that's being viewed as possibly threatening some of the corporate profits. I got Lacey here, moosing me for a pet. I don't know, it's always at 7:45. She hears me start talking, and she comes running over, and I have to pet her for a little while. She's okay. She's a cute, fuzzy little thing. She's one of my fuzzy futures friends and family. Crude prices softened a little bit overnight as China has expanded COVID lockdowns yet again, potentially slowing demand. And Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, fires the top 3 execs. Somebody cue the song Freebird for me, would you? As always, make sure you hit the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome. I'm getting a lot of love here from this little puppy, a little 80-pound German Shepherd. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when we do go live. A brief look at the VIX this morning, down slightly at 27.24. A little bit of a surprise that it was actually lower. Going to check that. Yeah, down about 1%. So the VIX lower, dollar index creeping back to the upside now, back above 110 at 110.73 last I checked. And the yield on the 10-year back above 4% at 4.02%. And again, last I checked. Friday, thank goodness, right? It's always kind of mixed emotions. I enjoy what I do so much. It's always good to get away and also good to get back. Good morning, Charles March. First in the room wins the prize. Rooster crowing already. Passing step 2 yesterday. Congratulations, Rooster. Congratulations. Shaw, happy Friday to you as well. Theo, good to see you. Dimitar. Shaw, where might be the best place to see a schedule of earnings releases that includes exact times when available? There's a million of them. I've found that all of them are going to have errors and flaws. This is the one that I use mostly. I just popped it into the chat. It's investing.com. What are you doing? Just don't chew on my guitar. It's investing.com. There's Forex Factory. There's somebody mentioned another one here. Earnings Whisper. They're all, the investing.com one will give you the numbers as soon as they come out or as soon as they get them and they come out. They come out pretty quickly. Caprice, good morning. Dimitar, Joel, Nasdaq. My brother Rick is with us this morning. Good morning. You're up and at 'em early. Love you, buddy. Bill Phillips, Scott saw and he conquered. Trading Research, Barry Brooks, Mike, Terry King, Vince, my guy, Serenity Trader, Dowitzer, DA, Ricardo, Anissa, Brody, Deg, Rusty Golfer, my spirit animal, Glitter Sandwich, good morning. Marcelo, Serenity Trader, Sweet Rock and Robin. Yep, there you go. Unikis, good morning. He's got his quote for the day for us, and again, we really appreciate these, Unikis. If all you did was just look for things to appreciate, you would live a joyously spectacular life. So true. What we experience seems to be what we look for. What we seek, we reap. Lacey, there it goes. Nice. Well, there goes the guitar. It's all right. It's kind of one of my beaters. I used to buy a $100 guitar once in a while so I could carry it around and take it to the beach and beat it up and throw it in the car and not worry about dinging it. And it just got another ding, so it's got a little bit more personality now. But great quote, Unicus. Thank you very much. Kevin Laffey, good to see you. James, Elon Musk was pissed when, I don't know what that means, but YouTube seems to have removed all prior recorded forecasts and recaps in the Top Step Videos tab. I didn't know that. I'll check that out. Thank you for letting me know. I see them on our YouTube page. Here's the YouTube page. Maybe you're in the wrong spot. Here's the YouTube page that I look at, and I think this is our official site. It says official. It might be you. I don't know. Check that out. Sarah Hall, good morning. Prayers and love to you, and a happy Friday dance as well. Glitter Sandwich, Mike, good to see you. Shaw, Mike, George, good morning. Lacey in the Forbidden Couch. She's not on the Forbidden Couch now. She was chasing something around my guitar and knocked it off its stand, so that's the way it goes. Dogs, yeah, she's a good girl. She actually believes with all of her being that she is the center of the universe. Lacey's VIX just went up. Yeah. Good morning, Orion. Did I hear something good about you, Orion? Did I hear something good about you? Pretty sure I saw something maybe on Facebook. Remember if you said anything here on the forecast. Cavs and Cubs. No dog bone for you. Oh, there it is. Orion finally got funded. Nice. Good job. Good job, Orion. Always love to hear the stories of success. Rick, Lacey Clapton. Now she's back over there again. Get away from there. Crazy. Alfred, good morning. Casey. Morning, Steven. All right, Kevin, they're all gone, and what I'm looking could be me. Awesome. Awesome, Orion. Steven, Joel B., Joel MB. always good to hear about success, and there is this is a very difficult thing to do, and I don't view anything as the F word, like failure. I just view it as not yet successful. Keep at it. Keep at it. Well, we appreciate you too, Ori, and thank you very much. All right, let's get through these charts. Let's make a little bit of money today and call it a week. All right, let's get things set up here. Here's the daily and the E-mini S&Ps. All right. Earnings, naysayers, FOMC, global uncertainties, all of those things kind of came home to roost on the equities yesterday, didn't they, Rooster? We lost 1,600 in open interest on this push off the upside here, off the highs. Tested through and closed back above the weekly kickoff high level here, which I find interesting and somewhat encouraging for the S&Ps. Nasdaq never really found acceptance above weekly kickoff high and seems to be intent on reaching weekly kickoff low, which in the S&Ps is all the way down here. We've got such a divergence in direction in the equity futures. We have the Dow, which closed higher yesterday, was higher this morning. Both the S&P and the Nasdaq were lower. It's like trying to wrangle cats. You get one cat in the box and two of them jump out, and you grab those two, and then another one jumps out. It's like everything's going different directions, and it's a little bit confusing if you're trying to view all of the products and use them to make decisions in one of the other products. We suggest all the time, and very often, I think, that we have to trade the product that we're seeing. We have to see the product that we're trading. We have to focus on the information in the product we are trading. Sometimes there can be really useful correlations with different products, and these are all very, very similar products, but they're, like we say, similar but different. See the market that you are trading. You're going to get your best information there. As the S&Ps are still holding above weekly kickoff high. I think the S&Ps are faring very well in the earnings that we saw this week, as well as the Dow. The Nasdaq, of course, so tech heavy, has been the weakest of them, and it just makes sense. So I'm looking at that weekly kickoff high, 37.78, as pivotal. Look at the overnight, 37.76.75. Remember, these are zones. They are not finite numbers that we expect the market to stop on a dime and turn or continue from those points. So when we're trading what we see, we're still seeing, well, overall higher lows, overall higher highs. We are at risk of some change in direction, and that change, I think, is again pivotal around 37.78 in the S&Ps. Open interest has been dropping for 2 sessions. We lost open interest on an overlapping to higher day on Wednesday. That was a little bit of a warning shot, right? Because we didn't bring open interest on an overlapping to higher day. We lost open interest. Yesterday, losing 16,000 in open interest. We scared a lot of longs out of this market, but not enough for them to push price and accept below weekly kickoff low. 28,000 in lost open interest in the last 2 sessions, and we're still finding support at this important inflection level. Take a look at the 30-minute chart here. Is this the one? Yes. Now Lacey's chewing on my feet. All right. So we get a little knee jerk here from the information here this morning. We've got this trend line. We kind of broke out below it night before last. Little bit of a kind of a what? Scare back to weekly kickoff, still finding that supportive. Post cash close yesterday, post the 3 o'clock close, we put in what I'm going to call a late spike. The volume was relatively decent considering it was after the cash close. Earnings came out. We adjusted a whole bunch of inventory, and we're still in the late spike. We could be calling this opening with a gap. Okay, that's basically what we're doing. But we're looking for potential acceptance of lower pricing, which would put us to another test of weekly kickoff low, last week's high, and this naked point of control here that we already went through. I should probably take that off. We already tested that in regular trading hours, so now that's off the chart here. But weekly kickoff showing some importance for us last night after the London Open. We don't really have any overnight inventory. Overnight inventory is not a factor for us. We some knee jerks in both directions. Again, if we open with a gap, can't close the gap, we'll look for a test of weekly kickoff low. If we test weekly kickoff low and can't accept below it, we could turn around and come back and eventually close the gap today. Remember, it's Friday. I don't think that we have a huge amount of profit or loss that people are going to want to resolve by the end of the trading day today. We don't have any big overnight inventory, which is typically shorter, weaker hands traders that are going to be going home certainly flat for the weekend and usually every night. Pea shooters like me. So, we're out of balance. Opening range is a possibility. I'm probably not going to be looking for it. Basically, I think we've started to create an area of potential balance here between weekly kickoff high and the highs from the middle of the week. So I'm going to try and be patient. Check the low of the weekly kickoff. If we get an opportunity there, we can throw a line in down here. We can fish down here. What side of the boat is unclear, but at least it gives us the opportunity to limit risk. We don't have to pay a lot to find out we're wrong here. We can lose a few worms. Don't lose the rod and reel. If we get back into range from yesterday, then I think a possible value area special situation play might actually be something that I would be looking at, especially in the S&Ps, because the S&Ps have not been beat down as much as the Nasdaq. Now that may mean something different for the Nasdaq, but if we do reaccept inside value from yesterday, that puts the value area special situation play in play. And we may see the market eventually at some point during this session return back to the high of value from yesterday. So I'm really kind of looking for opportunities. If we can't close the gap, we look for a move down to weekly kickoff low. If we close the gap and reaccept inside value, we look for a rotation to the high of value at some point during the day. Acceptance. What is acceptance? It's extremely difficult to determine true acceptance. Some say it's 2 30-minute bars closing back inside value from yesterday would mark reacceptance of yesterday's value and a potential move to the other extreme of value. What about down here? What represents acceptance below weekly kickoff low? Well, it's usually going to be time, volume, momentum, and participation. It's like a table with 4 legs. If you get all those legs, you're looking for potential continuation to the downside. You get down below there, you come back in, you might see a little bit of excess. We see a little bit of excess at the end of the day here yesterday. Price got too cheap and was rejected. What happens if we get down there again? Shakir, weekly kickoff levels. These are levels that I calculate on Friday or Saturdays. These are basically levels that include Technical analysis, market profile analysis, sometimes candlestick analysis, a little bit of math, and a little bit of chicken bones, and a little bit of tea leaves. There are levels that I believe, and we, some of us here, believe that longer time frame traders will be forced to adjust inventory or at the very least become active in the marketplace. Important inflection levels in longer time frames. All right, let's go finish up the S&P here, and then I'm gabbing a little bit here, but see, here we are. We don't have any overnight inventory. We are taking out perhaps the probability of opening with a gap. All right. Here's crude. So we added 12,000 in open interest yesterday above weekly kickoff high. I think there was a pretty big or a decent expectation for longs to continue to place bets to the long side. Unfortunately for them, we have new information out of China that they're locking down again, and that may lower the demand for crude oil globally and certainly in China. So we've been holding above weekly kickoff high. There's that thing again. 87.80 is weekly kickoff high. 87.58. So we went 22 ticks below it overnight before returning back above it. We closed above it yesterday and the day before. Now this marks potential acceptance in a longer time frame. It's the amount of time we've spent up here. Volume is just okay yesterday. It was better on the day before, but we did again add 12,000 in open interest. So there is the potential that we've trapped some longs above weekly kickoff low. If we can't hold weekly kickoff low, that may make it a little bit rough for our new longs that we see up here. A couple of things. We do have maybe some overnight inventory, a little bit to the short side, maybe a little bit flat, but we are opening with a gap. We did open with a gap, and we have not closed the gap from yesterday's range to today's regular trading hour range. Now, we also gapped higher yesterday, leaving a small gap from the previous day. And now we've trapped this range in an island top. If we can't hold weekly kickoff high here, there's some pretty good potential for a move to the downside. Where are we? Okay, we've had price move up to this level. We have a shoulder, we have a head, we have a shoulder. If this head and shoulders pattern plays out, we're looking at, let's see here, here's the top of the head, here's approximately the neckline. If we break out of the neckline, our potential move to the downside is back down to about 85.30, 85.40. If this head and shoulders plays out, a big part of it is, does the market hold weekly kickoff high as support? Does it fail? Does it take out the neckline? If it takes out the neckline, then the head and shoulders move is on, and we could see this market move considerably lower. This is dead. This one's gone. We don't need this. Remove. All right. And, that takes us back down to potentially this trend line. We do have a naked point of control here that's going to actually line up pretty nicely with that trend line at some point in the near future. So everything centers between our overnight low and weekly kickoff low. If we're going to hold above, we can see this market continue its move to the upside. But again, two patterns here. An island top and a head and shoulders. If we take out these lows, I don't want to fight any downside moves. Don't want to do it. Won't do it. You can't make me. All right. All right. Now to the Nasdaq. One thing. Back to crude. What's our opening range? So we took out the high of the opening range. Now we're below the opening range. Another failure of the opening range trade. A lot of folks probably keeping an eye on it, which makes it less likely to succeed. Here's the Nasdaq. Here's the daily. Okay, here's the weekly kickoff high that the S&Ps are holding above. Yesterday, we almost moved all the way back to weekly kickoff low here in the Nasdaq. We had an increase in open interest on this push to the downside yesterday. 9,200 additional short bets on higher volume. Are we trapping shorts? Or are we going to see some continuation? That's the question. Stay tuned to As the Market Turns. Tech weakness has smothered the Nasdaq. No acceptance above weekly kickoff high, and I think our weekly kickoff low is a very reasonable and probable target if the market does continue this move to the downside. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Late spike, opening in the late spike. We opening with a gap from regular trading hours. If we open with a gap, we're looking at gap rules. If we open with a gap, close the gap, and return back to value from yesterday, and perhaps another value area special situation. I didn't put settlement on here. What's wrong with me? 11,235 and a quarter. 11,235 and a quarter. Close enough for rock and roll. Overnight inventory? No. Knee jerk? Yes. Gap right now. If we can't close the gap, we look to go lower, which takes us back down to perhaps weekly kickoff low, which is 108.24, 10,824. This is in the wrong spot, right about here. Take a look at gold. Gold has been beastly. Seeing some continuation here off of this breakout of this trend line. And we've got yet another head and shoulders type situation. Shoulder, head, shoulder, breaking out of the neckline. We already have our measured move measured all the way down to here. It looks like we may be headed that way. Too bad this breakout occurred at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was fast asleep, but it looks like probably one of the better, most dependable opportunities we've seen in gold. Unfortunately, again, the day. So we do have gap rules. Unable to close the gap. We're looking for opportunities to see continuation to the downside. Already seeing some. And our target again for this head and shoulders is down here. Euro. So big open interest boost on Wednesday on this push to the upside. I haven't seen a boost like that in the euro in I don't know how long. We've got some stunned longs. If all that open interest was new longs, we've trapped some longs up here, and we got to see, are they going to protect or are they going to capitulate? Big pushback to the downside yesterday, but we only lost 300 in open interest. What did we gain the day before in the euro? 12,000. 12,000 additional open interest, indicating new longs because of the direction of the market. Yesterday, losing 300 in open interest. No discernible change in open interest. Volume was good, but no change in open interest. There's a whole bunch of trapped longs up here. We are testing weekly kickoff high as we speak. Okay, is the close below weekly kickoff high yesterday showing rejection of higher pricing? We do see the dollar kind of creeping up a little bit here today. It's currently holding above settlement off its overnight highs of 111.04. So the overnight was pretty strong. Now it seems to be coming off. So now we're testing weekly kickoff. There's that word again. So here we are. No gap. No real overnight inventory. Testing weekly kickoff. Did we open with a gap? I would have to check here on this platform. We did open, indeed, with a gap. It's now closed. We are now back in value. Are we going to see the value area special situation play out? That would have us, by the end of the session today, come all the way back to the high of value from yesterday. One bar coming into weekly kickoff high, coming into value, doesn't necessarily indicate reacceptance of value from yesterday, or it can. Value area special situation play can be very tricky. All right, take a look at the 10-year. See if we've got some more continuation to the upside. Another test of weekly kickoff zone. Yesterday, last night, overnight inventory short, no gap, below value, potential for a overnight inventory adjustment back towards settlement. This is the day. This is the 30-minute. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Yesterday we added 74,000 contracts, new buyers, new longs up against an important inflection level. They're getting stuffed right now. Are they going to protect? Are they going to adjust inventory? The short time frame inventory adjustment would be to the long side. The longer time frame the longer time frame adjustment, I believe, would be to the short side. Which one's going to win? Too bad we don't have a recap today. It's always fascinating to see how these things play out, even if we're not actively trading them. So, no change in open interest yesterday in the natural gas. It's falling into to a degree of balance here. Position holders, position traders held pat yesterday. They didn't do anything. No change. Balance forming. Rollover is ended. Take a look at the 30. So we have overnight inventory to the short side. They are continuing to get paid. Where's our potential area of balance? We got a naked point of control down here, last week's low and this week's high. I'm not really interested in doing anything really in the middle. Though we are showing you some signs of rejection of value from yesterday. Be a tough trade today, I think, in the natural gas. I think it's probably always in The always difficult. This market freaks me out. Where are we here? And then S&Ps now. Okay, less of a probability of opening with a gap. Let's see what happens. Well, all right, folks. I hope that helps, and looking forward to a nice weekend, and hopefully you all have a nice weekend as well. Rick says the world has it out against the dollar. It certainly seems to, right? JD, that's all right. You can be late. Marcelo, thank you very much. Vince, love this quote I saw this morning. Embrace the challenge. The more you struggle, the more rewarding it is when you succeed. It's a great quote, Vince. Thank you for that. All right, take your deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. Stay humble, grateful, and creative in your trading today. Make sure your ball of clay stays centered. If you become out of center, you get chaotic and bad things happen. World Series Game 1 tonight, right? Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. Rick, maybe you and I can have a Zoom meeting and watch the World Series together. All right, have a great weekend. Get out there and profit. Trade well today. If you make a little money early, nothing wrong with doing something else the rest of the day. Monday is a whole nother week. We got FOMC week, FOMC on Thursday, Wednesday next week. See how things play out. Have a great weekend. Say a prayer for peace. Blessings to you all. I'll see you Monday morning.